You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. EFF sues ECZ for procedural impropriety. Energy Minister says government still pushing for cheaper oil from Saudi Arabia as promised 4 years ago. UPND to elect new party leaders on Love Day. In international news, BOBI wine files arbitrary detention complaint at UN. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo breaks another world record by scoring the most goals. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GOTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. Government through the Energy Minister Matthew Zunkuwa says government is still pursuing an oil deal with the Saudi government, which is likely to see the prices of the commodity going down. Mr. Nkuwa says government has not abandoned its plans to facilitate cheaper oil importation from Saudi Arabia. The minister was responding to questions from the media on the current status of the promised oil imports from Saudi Arabia by the PF government. In May 2016, President Edgar Lungu traveled to Saudi Arabia to negotiate for cheaper oil deals with that country. Government, through the then Energy Minister Dora Silia, informed the nation that Zambia and Saudi Arabia have signed documents to operationalize the importation of cheaper fuel to Zambia. Ms. Silia announced the deal would see the cost of fuel in Zambia going down to as low as 5 kwacha, 15 ngwe per liter. However, 4 years on, the prices of both diesel and petrol have tripled from the promised price.
Remember last time we ordered a very high spec of diesel and petrol, which we don't actually use here. As a result, the cost of that fuel was landing here in Zambia slightly more expensive than the normal fuel that we've been buying. But that channel is not closed yet. We are looking into it, and we should be able to go back. Once we agree on the prices that will make a difference in Zambia, then the public will be informed accordingly. But it is not closed. We are still discussing it, and we'll be having meetings within the course of this month or next month to discuss the same.
Movement for Democratic Change President Felix Mutati has charged that the country's economy has stagnated due to bad leadership. Mr. Mutati has since advised President Edgar Lungu to work and control the economic crisis the country is in right now. He further urges President Edgar Lungu to be proactive when dealing with national affairs if the country's economic trajectory is to improve. Speaking to journalists on Thursday, Mr. Mutati states that with COVID-19 ravaging most economies world over, Zambia's situation is even more complex with a bad leadership in place. The opposition leader has touched on the fuel shortage being experienced countrywide to be caused by government due to its failure to let the private sector purchase the commodity.
Let us not allow this pandemic to be manipulated to take political advantage. The rules are not selective, they apply to everybody. Every Zambian, every political party. We must abide by the rules. It is at this juncture that I call upon you, Mr. President, that Mr. President take responsibility and leadership. To stop the manipulation of the pandemic for purely political advantage. There will be no politics if there's no life. Let's respect life first, politics later. And the buck stops at you, Mr. President. Give us a leadership. All of us want to campaign, but we are saying we are going to respect the guidelines. Over the last few days and weeks, we have been experiencing a shortage of fuel in various parts of Zambia. We need to construct a sustainable solution to this issue. And my advice, singularly, is that do not construct taxation to follow transaction. Construct taxation to deal with the business environment in the fuel sector. Stop the procurement of fuel as government. You are just increasing Congole. Let the private sector be responsible to buy. The role of government should be limited to policy, licensing, and regulation.
President Edgar Lungu says government will continue to support the agriculture sector by ensuring that all inputs are delivered on time. The president says government will also ensure that farmers are paid their monies on time in order to ensure that farming is not disturbed in the country. The head of state says Zambia has the potential to grow its own crops and avoiding importing farming produces from South Africa. President Lungu says he is impressed with the performance of most fields in Muchinga province where healthy crops have been witnessed. The head of state said this when he met village headmen and women of Chinsali district of Muchinga province, where he is on a 3-day work visit.
Payments to farmers will be made on time to ensure that they get their money in good time to use for their needs, and also plan for the next crop. We are farmers friends. We know that without food, we cannot be what you are. Women or men get the food. Without food, we can't wait. We don't have anything to do. Even if we do wait, you can't find anything you want. Pratica estaba muy bien, siempre se realizó la época de la muy vista. Era todo el tiempo como que yo vamos a país, vamos a tratar de trabajar. So it's important that for the leaders of our people, we all encourage that. And we are going to support hard efforts.
The Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, says ZCCM-IH has the capacity to effectively operate Mopani copper mines. IDC Group Chief Executive Officer Mateo Kaluba says the mining company's board of directors and management would be competent enough to professionally run the newly acquired mine. Mr. Kaluba has reiterated that the acquisition of Mopani copper mine by ZCCM-IH was consistent with the direction of the mining conglomerate was taking to have more control of mining interests in the country. He says IDC as ZCCM-IH holding company was involved through an extensive consultation process to give the necessary guidance and approvals regarding the payment of the 1.5 billion United States dollars transaction debt by Mopani to Glencore. Mr. Kaluba says the debt was the burden of the mining company itself and not the state. This is according to a statement issued to Camnet TV by IDC Head of Corporate Communications, Namakau Mukelabai.
ZCMIH capacity to run mines, we are very confident that ZCMIH do have the capacity to run the mine. One thing that should be mentioned is that when we say ZCMIH running the mine, we're not saying the people sitting here in Lusaka are going to be the ones that are making decisions at the mine. They will be the shareholders, there will be a competent board in place, there will be a competent management in place. And if you recall what the Minister of Mines said, we will also be seeking a strategic equity and technical partner that will make sure that the mine is run efficiently and professionally. So the concerns around ZCMIH ability to run the mine, I think the question should be more, does ZCMIH have the ability to own the mine? And clearly the fact that they've acquired the mine demonstrates that this is an area that they are competent in terms of the everyday operations of the mine.
But new Labour Party President Fresha Siwale has described the 1.5 billion United States dollars Mopani deal as a joke laced with a lot of selfishness. Mr. Siwale says Glencore acquired the mine at $50 million from the Zambian government and has wondered why government through ZCCM-IH has agreed to repossess the mine at such a high amount. The party leader made these remarks shortly after his court appearance in a case in which he is charged with defaming President Edgar Lungu by alleging that he had stolen someone's identity. Mr. Siwale Thursday morning appeared before Magistrate Alice Walisiku for mention. It is alleged that Mr. Siwale on the 22nd of April 2018, with the intent to bring the name of the President Edgar Lungu into ridicule, published defamatory matter by word of mouth. He said the President of the Republic of Zambia is not the actual Edgar Chagwa Lungu, but Jonathan Mutamwale, who must be arrested for having 3 national registration cards.
Takeover of Mopani mines. Now the deal between ZCCM and Glencore is stinking, it's filthy, it's dirty, because it's either it's been done in ignorance by the powers that be, or they have a cut on the other side, because you cannot inherit a debt of $1.5 billion when the mine was sold for $50 million. Okay? Now, in a normal situation, when Glencore started making plans to close the mine, what government should have done at that time, if they knew what they were doing, was to ask Glencore to give them a decommissioning plan and pay for the cost of decommissioning of Mopani mine. Government should not have worried about the loss of jobs, at Mopani, okay? Because at that point, if the Zambian workers had lost jobs, government should have transferred them straight onto social security, so that there is no disruption in people's incomes.
The opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has set February 14, 2021 as the date on which it would hold its elective General Assembly. Party elections chairman Gary Nkombo has told the media in a briefing that all positions at national management level, including that of the president, are open. Mr. Nkombo explains that the holding of the convention is the fulfillment of Article 60 of the Republican Constitution. He added that 1,500 delegates that would form the Electoral College will include 6 constituency officials, 8 from the district, 34 from the province. He says other voters at the convention include 30 students from higher institutions of learning, all UPND members of parliament, and 10 members from the diaspora.
I'd like to make an announcement on the progress that we have made as a party in our intra-party elections and towards the fulfillment of that constitutional requirement, that we in the UPND, under the supervision of the elections committee that I head, have successfully managed to do elections countrywide from the ward levels, which wards are selected or elected by the branches, which branches are self-forming organs. We have successfully managed to do all the 156 constituencies in this country. We have managed to do all the 116 districts of this country. And we have managed to do all the 10 provinces of this country. Suffice to mention that this has not been an easy road. We have had challenges along the way. Challenges ranging from 1, disturbances by the law enforcers, the police, citing the Public Order Act. We've had disturbances from weather conditions. We have had disturbances and challenges from our own internal processes, which include petitions. We want to submit that we have dealt with nearly all the petitions.
The opposition Economic and Freedom Fighters Party, through its party president, Kasonde Mwenda, has sued the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, and the Attorney General in the Lusaka High Court, seeking judicial review for unreasonable and procedural impropriety. The opposition political party is contending that the announced campaign period, as per the Zambian constitution, has been reduced by 2 weeks instead of the traditional full 3 months. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, announced to the nation that the campaign period will run from the 24th of May 2021 to 11th August 2021. In this matter, the EFF president is seeking judicial review to move to the High Court to quash the published Electoral Commission 2021 General Election Roadmap and compel them to prepare a new one which is rational and in conformity with the dictates of the Zambian law. More in this report.
On the 9th of December 2020, Economic Freedom Fighters Party, EFF, had threatened to sue the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, if the voter registration exercise was not going to be extended. In a letter of intent to the Commission, the party urged ECZ to abide by the law and do the right thing by extending the registration period to more than 30 days. Now, the party, through its president, Kasonde Mwenda, has sued the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the Attorney General in the Lusaka High Court, seeking an order of judicial review to have the court quash the published Electoral Commission 2021 General Election Roadmap and compel them to prepare a new one which is rational and in conformity with the dictates of the Zambian law. In this matter, economic freedom fighters are challenging the decision of the Electoral Commission of Zambia made on the 15th of December 2020 through its public relations officer during a press briefing outlining the 2021 general election roadmap that the campaign period will run from 24th May to 11th August 2021, saying the commission abrogated the act when it directed the campaigns will run from the 24th of May to 11th August 2021, adding that the campaign period is 2 weeks short of the mandated 3 months period pursuant to Section 28 of the Electoral Process Act No. 35 of 2016. The party is also challenging ECZ decision made on the 12th of December 2020, stating the 2021 general election roadmap that the voter registration will be closed on the 12th December 2020. The EFF president wants the court to declare that the 2021 election roadmap is illegally and invalid. Mr. Mwenda wants an order to compel ECZ to extend and immediately resume voter registration for an additional 1 month so that prospective voters are not left out as a result of time. And also an order to compel ECZ not to discard the voters' register used during the 2016 general election but simply update it, adding that the people who did not manage to register in the just-ended voter registration exercise should be allowed to vote if they appear in the 2016 voters' register. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Take control of your tax planning. Avoid penalties and interest. Returns and payments due by the 10th of the month for declarations of the previous month's transactions are pay as you earn and skills development levy. Returns and payments due by the 14th of the month are turnover tax, withholding tax, mineral royalty tax, tourism levy, gaming and baiting, presumptive tax. Returns and payments for all withholding VAT agents is the 16th of the month. Returns and payments for all VAT registered suppliers is the 18th of the month. Submit the returns and make payments on or before the respective due dates to avoid penalties on the late submission of returns and payments of taxes. Further, note that VAT tax invoices for all business-to-business and business-to-government transactions must bear the TPIN of the buyer without fail. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerine?
Oracle Pure Glycerine? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Nsika, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has pre-positioned 2 million usable face masks, 75,000 face shields, 500 hand washing stations, 250,000 disposable face masks, and 15,000 by 51 liters sanitizers in all the 10 provinces across the country in the wake of the schools opening on the 1st of February 2021. In a statement by DMMU National Coordinator Chanda Kawe, DMMU has further engaged Ministry of Local Government through the Fire Department to fumigate and disinfect schools and other public institutions as a way of preventing the COVID-19. Meanwhile, Mr. Kawe has disclosed that in its continuous relief distribution exercise, the DMMU has released a total of 25,400 by 25 kilograms and 13,440 by 12.5 kilograms bags of relief millimoil and 3,000 metric tons of maize to be distributed in southern, western, Luapula, northern, central, Mchinga and eastern provinces. Mr. Kawe has also urged members of the public to ensure that they observe the health guidelines put in place to stop the spread of COVID-19.
The government has provided 250,000 disposable masks, 250,000 across the 10 provinces. Government again has provided 15,000 by 5 liters the hand sanitizers, which will be given to all the schools to try and support them to reopen the schools on the 1st of February. Government has also procured chemicals through the local authorities that will be given to local authorities across the country to support the fumigation of all schools and public infrastructure in provinces and districts to ensure that our boys and girls in schools are protected. Further, government working with DMMU, working with local government to ensure that these chemicals are given to the fire departments. We are aware that each and every council, either a town council or municipal council or a city council, they have fire services, and we're going to use these departments to ensure that all schools with these chemicals procured are fumigated to try and protect the learners and the communities in our districts.
Zambia has recorded 8 COVID-19 deaths, 3 deaths associated with COVID-19 and 1 death pending classification in the last 24 hours. The latest deaths brings the total number of deaths since the pandemic broke out in Zambia to 597. The country has further recorded 1,264 COVID positive cases in the last 24 hours out of 10,523 tests done. The new cases bring the total number of positive cases to 42,213. 388 COVID-19 patients are currently being attended to in various health institutions, while 9,706 are being treated from their homes. These statistics are courtesy of the Ministry of Health. Meanwhile, Exodus Boxing Promotions promoter Anthony Mwamba has died. Mr. Mwamba died on Thursday from Levi Mwanawasa Teaching Hospital, where he was admitted. Mr. Mwamba has died aged 61, is suspected to have succumbed to COVID-19. The late will be remembered for nurturing boxing sensation Esther Perry, who became world champion, and Russian ambassador to Zambia Alexander Boyrev has also died. Mr. Boydrev died in Lusaka on Wednesday, 20th January 2020. His cause of death is unknown. Mr. Boidiref was appointed ambassador and extraordinary of the Russian Federation of the Republic of Zambia in October 2019, where he served until his death. And moving on in the news, police in Lusaka have picked up a body of a 46-year-old maid who is suspected to have committed suicide. The maid was found floating in her employer's swimming pool around 05:20 hours. The incident happened in Lusaka's Olympia Township. The report was made by the employer of the now deceased person, aged 54, that her maid, identified as Anastasia Mulenga, aged 46, was discovered dead when she had gone to check on her after noticing that she was not responding to the persistent alarm on her phone. Zambia police spokesperson Esther Katongo explains that an empty bottle of pesticide, namely Doom, was found on the floor of the kitchen. She says the pesticide was bought by the employer and was intended to be used for killing cockroaches. Ms. Katongo further explains that no physical injuries were found on the body of the deceased. And moving on in the news, Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda has bemoaned the death of Chief Mwikikile of Shiwangandu District in Muchinga Province. Mr. Nakachinda says the death of Chief Mwikikile is not only a loss to the chiefdom but the entire nation. The minister made these remarks when he called on Chief Chikwanda of the Bemba-speaking people of Mpika District in Muchinga Province in the company of his counterpart from Works and Supply, Sylvia Chalikosa. Chief Mwikikile died on the 17th of January 2021 and was put to rest on the 21st of January 2021.
She has an advanced party. Kuisa kutekanya utandaji wa akateka kumukumbika balesa to command ground drive for my projects ya kwalishokira bekataro unamumbika wakatapanishi clean water and also to improve sanitation. So the program we should come and seek your blessing as we undertake to prepare for breakfast tomorrow. And we are aware that definitely we will be interacting with him. So we think we just come and take this corner.
Tuisha for remember ukatupera watupera kwa at least umuntu watungirire okuteka ngaba yashi twatatu watwashuka you're coming in relation to your program. When let me first congratulate His Excellency for your appointment. As far as I'm concerned, congratulations. Bantu umuntu batupela honorable minister kutwatila wakateka umuntu batupela honorable minister kutikipula challenge.
Lusaka Central Constituency Independence Ward Councillor George Daka has expressed concern at the continued vandalization of waste bins in the Central Business District by unknown people. Mr. Daka explains that this negative trend is undermining the Keep Zambia Clean and Green campaign. He says as a result of the vandalized bins, people have been throwing garbage in undesignated places within the city center. Mr. Daka has called for a mindset change from members of the public in the manner they treat public properties erected anywhere aimed at serving them better. He made these remarks when he received a donation of bins from the Cleaning Association of Zambia.
2018, President Edgar Lungu relaunched the Make Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign with a call to citizens to embrace the initiative. The relaunch of the campaign is aimed at making cities, towns, villages, public institutions and places clean to improve the health standards of the people. And the Central Business District is among priority areas for the monthly cleaning activities. However, the city has remained dead owing to poor waste management systems and poor attitude among some people who indiscriminately dump waste. Lusaka Central Independence Ward Councillor George Daka is concerned that some people have been stealing waste containers in the CBD. He made the remarks when he received a donation of waste containers from the Cleaning Association of Zambia to be placed in various points in the CBD.
Thank the Cleaning Association of Zambia for the donation. Of course, this has come at the right time, so we need the most. This is for us in the CBD, I think they need to apply this very well. My appeal to the public, most of the time these things have been there, but they have been vandalized. I think as Zambians, we need to be responsible enough. You see, when people donate like this, meaning they care for the community. So it's up to us to take the responsibility. Each and everyone has to take a responsibility. If you have found somebody vandalizing, we need to use now, it's when we need to apply the citizen arrest. Because sometimes we find somebody vandalizing this, but we are just there watching. I think we need to stop. We need to change the mindset. So my appeal to all the Lusaka residents now is we need to maintain and keep our city clean. Of course, we can't keep our city clean when we don't have facilities like this. This is a very good donation, and I want to thank the people who have donated this.
Lawrence Makumbi is the Cleaning Association of Zambia president.
The Cleaning Association of Zambia has decided to partner with the Lusaka City Council through the office of Honorable George Daka, the councillor for this area, so that we can make sure we clean Lusaka. We have seen that the council alone is not able to make sure that we get rid of this garbage, because people have been stealing the bins that have been put in town. So the Cleaning Association of Zambia, with our cooperating partners, have come together to put here in the CBD the bins that you are seeing around us. This is to make sure that we get rid of the cholera that is there. We have seen that COVID has ravaged the country. We don't want any other disease to come. Hence, we have decided to give these bins.
And the vendors have expressed gratitude for the gesture, and they have pledged to take part in the monitoring of the waste containers as well as keeping the surroundings clean.
I want to say thank you to the donation that Honorable Makumbi has done. It is not the first time he has done this. Today is the second time, because it really shows that he is committed to keep Zambia clean and healthy. And also to my fellow vendors, I want to urge him to keep these bins jealously and to guard them jealously, that if anyone wants to vandalize, at least they should donate to members of the public, and at least to take such a one with the law enforcement agency.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The National Union of Professional Cleaners and Allied Workers Union has registered its displeasure over what it terms as the immoral offer of a tender by the Bank of Zambia to Felham Cleaning Division, which does not abide by statutory obligations. Union Director of Mobilization Bernard Mamba says they are disappointed that the central bank is embracing a company which is paying slave wages of less than 900 kwacha to workers for the past 3 years. Mr. Mamba wonders why the same company continues holding on to the tender even when they have produced all the evidence of the injustice against workers. He says as a union they will not allow any cleaning firm that fails to abide by the minimum wage by government of 1,680 kwacha.
Objection to offer cleaning tender at Lusaka Head Office, Felham Cleaning Division, contract 2021, due to non-compliance to NAPSA 2020. As National Union of Professional Cleaners and Allied Workers wishes to register our displeasure in the immoral offer of Bank of Zambia Cleaning 2021 tender to Felham Cleaning Division, due to the procurement team failure to consider the plight of the workers that have been underpaid for the past 3 years. We are disappointed that Bank of Zambia is allowing a company to pay slave wages of less than 900 kwacha to workers for the past 3 years. Now they hardly want the same company to continue like this for the next 3 years. Now they already want the same company to continue like this for the next 3 years, even when we have produced all the evidence of this injustice. Here are payslips for workers that get paid below the minimum wages set by the government of 1,680 as the SI number 71 General Order of 2018. The government has said everything good for the cleaners, but Bank of Zambia is not helping implement the law. The union has repeatedly informed Bank of Zambia procurement of this matter. However, we are extremely surprised that a morally upright procurement team can continue the suffering of cleaners for the next 3 years. It is totally unacceptable.
National Development Planning Minister Alexander Chiteme says government is still committed to undertake the census of housing and population despite the dates not being decided on. Addressing the media Thursday, Minister in charge of planning Alexander Chiteme says the mapping project concluded in December 2020 provided an opportunity to Zamstats to assess the preparedness of the country for the main census. Mr. Chiteme has since described the pilot census of housing and population involving the mapping and listing as a success. The minister has also revealed that the outstanding balances to contracted personnel under these two exercises in the census pilot project are currently being paid out in all provinces and expected to be completed this week. Meanwhile, Mr. Chiteme has acknowledged the support of UN through some of its agencies, but could not disclose how much has been brought forward from the cooperating partners. The Zambian government postponed the 2020 census of population and housing, which is scheduled to be undertaken in 2020 to 2021, following challenges, among them the gassing incidences and flooding in some parts of the country, as well as the outbreak of the COVID-19.
Mapping and listing, as well as the pilot census, demonstrates government commitment to the undertaking of the main census. This is a major achievement considering the numerous challenges that we've had in 2020. Let me also state that outstanding balances, I know this is a contentious issue, outstanding balances to contracted personnel under these two exercises are currently being paid out in all the provinces. We expect that all the payments will be completed by the end of this week. Now let me acknowledge the support that we've gotten through the UN system, the UN, FPA, UNICEF, and the UNDP for the continued technical and financial support since the start of the census planning process in 2017. Further, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to DFID, who have so far provided 15,025 tablets for data collecting through a South-South cooperation arrangement with Malawi. This also has been done through the UNFPA. Additionally, UNFPA has donated 2,110 bicycles towards the main census. I am also grateful to the World Bank, the US government, through the US Census Bureau for providing technical support for the census preparatory activities.
We take our second set of commercials. To stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
The Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs. Tasting Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitality Plus Iron. Great tasting Cowbell Choco a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
Enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing happy in a can.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala komutienda okuni gift na land. Uchenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesi gear na mawaipa.
Difficult dia shidia njinga. Liam 19 pendefcon. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipu sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a Camnet, difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Indemoni! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Bikron, utole noleta nchemfule mungani. Ngecho wachira pose nchinshi. 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempanga. Don't be stupid. We got it.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GOTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine, who is under de facto house arrest by the military, has filed an arbitrary detention complaint to the United Nations. Bobi Wine's residence in Kampala has been surrounded by the army since Friday, a day after Uganda conducted presidential elections in which Bobi Wine competed against President Yoweri Museveni. Longtime President Museveni, 76, was re-elected with almost 59% of the vote, followed by 38-year-old Bobi Wine with roughly 35%. The opposition leader, whose real name is Robert Kangulai, said he will legally contest the result of the presidential election, alleging widespread fraud during the January 14th polls, seen as Uganda's first election in which there was a real threat to Museveni's rule. Museveni, one of Africa's longest-serving leaders, has retained power for 35 years. He changed Uganda's constitution to enable himself to run for yet another 5-year term. The election had been overshadowed by violence since campaigning began, with almost daily violence. The internet was shut down across the country shortly before the start of voting. It has since returned, though social media remains unavailable. We now get into sports news. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo is now the highest scorer of all time, says many reports after the 760th goal of his career scored in Juventus' 2-0 Italian Super Cup with Napoli. But is this true? Ronaldo has scored 5 goals for Sporting Lisbon, 118 for Manchester United, 450 for Real Madrid, 85 for Juventus, and 102 for Portugal, so there is no doubt about this figure. But the confusion seems to have come from his goal-scoring rivals of olden days. RSSF says Joseph Baikan is football's long-time top scorer, excluding players who have never played at the top level, with 805 career goals from only 530 games, with Romario on 772 and Pelé on 767. That sports item wraps up the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. EFF sues ECZ for procedural impropriety. Energy Minister says government still pushing for cheaper oil from Saudi Arabia as promised 4 years ago. UPND to elect new party leaders on Love Day. In international news, Bobi Wine files arbitrary detention complaint at UN. And in sports news, Cristiano Ronaldo breaks another world record for scoring by scoring most goals. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Proverbs 19 verse 1, and it reads, "Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a man who is twisted in his speech and is a fool." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.